Sweet. Okay, Gladiator Diaries episode 15. We've been away for a week, and we are back now with plenty to talk about. Because how was the wrestling trip, mate? And also, are you off somewhere else already?
Yes, yeah. So I'm going to Lithuania tomorrow,
Oh,
and I'm going to do some training with he was a glory kickboxing champion at light heavyweight, and he actually beat Alex Pereira in kickboxing, I believe. So he's very good, and he's got some other MMA training that we're going to do out there. So you know, um, it'll be again good experience, good addition to my tools, to my skill set. Going out to see my home country since I haven't been there since I was like probably 18, 19 years old. I think I've mentioned that I haven't been there since I was 14, but I do remember I was there when I was like 19. But yeah, so it'll be good, like I say, to be back in the home country, back in the mother country. Train with some of the guys. Get that good feel. Get that good energy within the gym as well, because I'm pretty sure people will be, as much as I want to meet other people and train with other people, I'm sure they'll want to do the same with me, which would be lovely, which would be great camaraderie, and obviously get some tough training in, which is what we want. You know what I mean? Being in another country, of course, they're going to want to. They're going to want to test themselves, and I'm all for that, and I love that. So yeah, man, that's pretty much the trip to Lithuania. Now, if we're talking about what happened in Finland, Finland was actually a lovely trip. It's a beautiful country, extremely bloody cold. I can imagine this will be no different to Lithuania. Lithuania, I think, is probably about -7, but it got down to -10 at one point in Finland.
jeez.
I'll just run you through everything pretty much from start
Yeah,
to
let's do it.
finish. Uh, I had about 1 kilo left to lose in terms of weight. So I had not that much to lose, but it was at the Olympic Training Center for Finland. It was beautiful, absolutely massive center. So this is where I realized this was actually quite a high profile tournament that I'd entered myself for my first ever wrestling tournament. To enter myself, like I literally saw Olympic medalists that were competing, and like I'm talking like guys that had medaled at the Worlds. So the level of competition with some of these guys was quite, up there. But yeah, I mean, so we got there. I managed to cut my weight. I had to help my teammate cut weight. It was good that they provided all the food, all the meals, which was lovely. So it was very easy. We didn't really have to go out too far out of our way to find anything in terms of food. There, it was weird. The Olympic Training Center itself, I don't think had saunas or anything like that. So, but there was a bit, or maybe it was connected. I don't know, but there was a bit next to it that we walked to the other side, and then we managed to get a sauna. And yeah, it was an absolute mad one. It was funny because whenever we were in the sauna, because I was helping my friend cut weight, so I actually woke up early in order to help my friend like weigh in fit. So I'd already weighed in, I'd made weight, cut the sauna, everything. Now my friend, obviously, he hadn't made weight, so he had to wait till the next day to do the next weigh-in that he was allowed. And then obviously I was helping him. And the actual arena from our Airbnb was about a 15, 20 minute walk, but by running, well, we probably got there in about 5, 10 minutes. Like it was quite fast. But yeah, I even though I didn't need to, I ran with him. Because obviously I just wanted to help him make weight. And now the only one thing that I have to admit was a bit mad was when we were in the sauna. Obviously, there's loads of guys in there. A lot of those Finnish guys like to use a sauna, and everyone's in there, and it's good. They like to make it quite hot. But what I found was the quite tricky part was the fact that we're sitting in there, and now bear in mind, me and my friend, we need to stay in there for about 15, 20 minutes. And you see these guys, they're pouring like like in the UK. If you want to make it hotter in the sauna, usually guys are like, "Hey, is it okay if I drop in a couple of droplets?" Like you don't want to make it too
Mm.
unbearable for the people that are in there. These guys, they're just like literally like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, do you know what I mean? Spoonfuls of it. Like literally, my ears are like literally. Do you know what I mean? Like burning. I'm feeling like, what the hell is going on? They'll do that. Wait about a good 10, 20 seconds, then do it again, and then do it again, and then leave after like maybe 30 seconds. So like literally, they just poured on like Satan's toe onto this fire pit, and then they've decided just to fuck off straight away. Like literally, they've been in there for, I'm talking like maybe 30 seconds, and they're just like, I don't need this anymore. I'm out of here. It's like a toughness game of who can put on the most on the sauna and last there for the least amount of time. It was quite mad because obviously me and my friend, we were in there for the longest time. We were in there for like 15-20 minutes, and a lot of guys had already left, which I thought was crazy. So but my friend managed to make weight quite easily. It's funny because I even noticed, like, even with cutting weight, like my friend, like if it was me, I would have only drank stuff. I wouldn't have eaten anything. Like he ate his dinner, he had like some fruit, he had some water, and still in the morning he was able to cut the weight pretty easily. So I think I'm going to use these tactics leading into my weight cuts actually in the future. But obviously my friend's body was very naturally acclimated to everything that he had to do, because obviously he's been training and eating right for the last couple of weeks leading up to the tournament. And so I had one match where I won 8 or 9-1, I believe. I lost in the bronze medal match. There was one guy that I competed with. It was my second match. He was a Swedish, I think a 3-time national Swedish wrestling champion, and he was quite short, very stocky. But I didn't get beat that badly. What I realized is that my habits from MMA kind of crossed over into the wrestling world, which is unfortunately you can't do. Like staying a bit of more of an upright stance and leaving my front foot forward. The only thing I got caught with was sweep singles. No double legs, no other collar tie type stuff. And I noticed that I was shooting from a little bit far out, and I was also, apart from the guy that I beat 8-1, but also I just was very hesitant. You know, my first ever wrestling tournament, I didn't really go all out, and I think this also translates into my MMA fights where I'm not going for the wrestling because I'm being a bit hesitant. So this was actually a very good thing to make me build that actual confidence for doing wrestling. You know, and I think that will only translate even better when I go into my MMA fight. So a very good experience in that sense. All the guys that I competed at and the guys I lost to, I could have 100% beat. Like, one without a doubt. Even that Swedish national wrestling champion, like the guy who won it was like a Russian. I think he was like yeah, like a very, very good Russian wrestler. Very strong, very powerful. Strength wise, I didn't have an issue, but you know, I could have went for more sweep singles myself and set things up a little bit better. I kind of, like I say, half did things because I was probably a bit hesitant, and then going into shots not fully committed, which is why I didn't get quite the takedowns that I wanted to. And yeah, just leaving my front foot forward too much, getting caught with that sweep single, which is easily fixable. Because when I did the wrestling camp the following days later, we didn't stay at the wrestling camp for two crazy. We did like maybe two sessions, only because there wasn't that many big guys there. I thought there'd be a lot more big guys, but there wasn't. And so, you know, but I used some of the stuff that I'd kind of taken from this tournament, and I started getting more takedowns and just being able to defend a bit better. So and I realized as well that the training that they're doing is not that much different to the UK training. Like you think, like the guys at a wrestling camp, and you know, the guys on the Finnish like wrestling team, this is the stuff that they're doing. It's no different. This is almost exactly the same. Except potentially they have more high level guys. But even then, I'm like, I look at the guys on our mats, I'm like, you know, these guys are getting pretty good as well. It's just, you know, I think the guys who've just been, I've been going up against guys who like been wrestling their whole lives, and even then I'm still competing, and I'm just making very small errors, you know, but errors that were enough for me to lose, right? And in the bronze medal match, I was actually quite annoyed because at the time I kind of didn't say anything, but then after, even my coaches were wondering, I managed to secure. So at first, again, managed to get the single leg. Obviously, I fell to my front. I lost a couple of points, and then he leg laced me, and I actually didn't know the defense to a leg lace whatsoever. So I ended up, you know, losing a couple of points there. I think he ended up getting 4 points, 5 points. No, sorry, he ended up getting 7 points, but I went for, and if there's a 10-point difference, you automatically lose the match. And I went for a double leg. I got the double leg. He landed on his back. Now, if I would have been on the floor, and there wasn't any momentum and he pulled me over, he would have got 4 points. Yeah. But for some reason, he hit his back on the floor. I kind of went over, we rolled over, and I got into a single leg. And for some reason, so I was still technically, I was on top of a single leg. They gave him 4 points. They gave me nothing for the double leg that I'd secured on him. And there was literally like last seconds in the first period. And I could feel he was starting to gas a little bit. Like he was breathing very heavy. And again, just confidence, another confidence thing. I just need to be more confident with my shots. I think I could have definitely set things up and beaten these guys. It's just confidence in myself. Do you know what I mean? It's like confidence to pull these moves off. And it just wasn't all there. Obviously, the first competition that I've ever done in wrestling, but I was very grateful and thankful that I was able to have this experience because, as I say, it's only going to make me better as an athlete and, make me better in fighting. Do you know what I mean? I think these are the pieces of the puzzle that are probably missing that needed to be added, and also I think another thing that I was worried about was the cardio. Like, would my cardio hold? Like, obviously I've been training hard, but you're always wondering, like, I don't really want to gas out with these guys like coming at me trying to take me down. But I realized my cardio held up absolutely fine. I should have just went for it a lot more. And I think this will only improve as time goes on. Not only will my cardio only get better, my wrestling will only get better. I'll become more efficient. And when I do these wrestling tournaments in future, I'll definitely be attacking a hell of a lot more and setting things up a little bit better. So just a little bit static and leaving that front foot forward. Obviously, I'm not training to be a wrestler. These guys are training 6 times a week, twice a day, just for wrestling. I'm training for it twice a week. And obviously doing it with the MMA, which is different. But I'm putting myself outside of my comfort zone, doing something that I don't normally do, and I was annoyed that I didn't get the bronze. Also annoyed that I wanted to fight for gold. Like just in my head, just me as a competitor. But there's many lessons learned, and I was grateful. And it's like I said, it's a beautiful country, just bloody freezing. It was mad because I felt like it was summer when I came back to the UK. I felt like the contrast in temperature was just insanity. So I think everything, all in all, was a very positive experience, and it's leading me into my Lithuania trip very nicely. So I can't really complain.
Yeah. You mentioned the weather. I was chatting to Arnold Allen earlier, who is in Canada already doing his camp there for his fight. And I was like, normally I'd complain about the weather, but I imagine you got it quite a bit worse than we have in the UK, because I've been freezing this last week. So for you to say that feels like summer here compared to there, that I'm not jealous.
Yeah, honestly, it because there was snow everywhere, and like the snow, it's not like it was melting, like it was just solid. Do you know what I mean? I think it might have snowed through the night and it just built up a little bit more. So it's like that kind of cold that pierces through your body. But luckily I bought some I didn't have any gloves or a hat, but I had a semi decent like kind of stuff that I had to wear on my upper half. So I managed to stay somewhat warm, and like we did a lot of walking, which was good. We walked around the town. We only really walked around the town centre on the last day that we had, obviously because we were doing the wrestling camp. But walking to and from the Olympic Centre and stuff like that. So it was an adventure. It was good to hang around with my team. Build up the relationships, the camaraderie with my teammates. So that, all in all, was also another amazing thing to be part of all of that, to be hanging around with guys and to create more connections and like I say, better relationships with people with people. And it's very positive moving forward, because obviously ultimately MMA is my main thing. But of course I do want to, it's made me have an increased love for wrestling. I'm sure if I do jiu-jitsu tournaments, I have an increased love for that as well. But it makes me want to train even more. It makes me want to be more dedicated. It makes me want to be more disciplined. So There was a lot of spiritual and mental and things, as much as the physical and obviously the technical standpoint. And I realized that my technique's not bad at all. Like, do you know what I mean? Like my technique's good. It just needs to be a bit more forceful, you know. And that will be what I'm working on. Like when I go into training sessions, I really want to try and gas myself the hell out. And it almost makes me want to suffer more. Makes me want to be more in tune with suffering, you know. I feel like there's even still little bits and bobs that I could possibly tune and fix even more so me as a person. So that's what makes this whole fight game an exciting thing to go about, because you know it's just an endless progression. And then you look at the top guys in the division. I'm like, skill for skill, there's not much discrepancy here, you know. So that's also very exciting, because now obviously I'm also looking to level up myself even more. A lot of guys, when they get to the top, you know, I'm not sure if they do train all the time or trying to, but you know, that's one thing that I want to make sure. And it's like, I'd rather give up, you know, maybe 4 years of my life right now, like the girls, the parties, the drinking, the socializing, but be at the top, the pinnacle, the cream of the crop. At 35, 36, you're still enjoying your life. Like, do you know what I mean? And enjoying the bigger fruits of life, the things where you can, you know, take care of your family, you can drive nice cars, you can go on holidays. Like, your life's not over at 36, 37. Do you know what I mean? So I think even then, just completely blocking myself out for like the next couple of years, I think is going to be really vital in order for me to really reach my full potential. And I feel like that's what helped me to get to the point that I am now. And I always feel like that's where I made the biggest improvements, is when I just kind of separated myself a little bit away from the world. And it's exciting. I know it sounds weird, but it's almost exciting. Do you know what I mean? It's exciting to put yourself and your body through suffering, because ultimately you have more confidence that your body can endure horrible things. And it's like, okay, well, nothing can break me. Who the hell is going to break me after I've been what I've been through? And mentally, it just shows, it makes you think, I've got so much fortitude and strength to be able to get through all of that. So what can I say, man? It's exciting times. The Baltic Gladiator is going to make another change and another leveling up, getting myself ready for the new year and everything that it has for the next year.
Did this wrestling trip, not in terms of where you were able to place, because I know your mentality, and we spoke about it before you left, that you know you were going there, like, make no mistake about it, to win the gold and bring it back. But did it go better than you expected, in terms of, it feels like you've been able to come away from it going, these people are not doing anything. Again, you talk about the skill gap in the light heavyweight division in the UFC. These people are not doing anything different. Maybe it's just, you know, there's a few things that I need to iron out. And again, you spoke about being more aggressive, little tweaks like that. It feels like you've been able to take that away from it. And
Yeah,
that necessarily wasn't on the table, especially when you said, when you got there and you're like, oh man, this is a higher level than I thought it was going to
yeah.
be. Like, that's not necessarily something you're going to get from taking away your first tournament. Instead, you might have come away motivated, like, all right, I got some things to work on, let's go to work. But instead, it sounds like you've come away like, I haven't got a ton of stuff to get to where I want to be. It's just
Well, I mean,
ironing those things out.
exactly as you said, some tweaks that need to be made. Maybe being a bit faster with my shot, and it's really the setups, the hand movement, the hand fighting. This is why these guys are built like absolute tanks. And you know, blending that with the striking and blending that with everything else, it will just make me much more efficient as a person. And then even in the grappling side of things. So yeah, definitely, of course, but yeah, technical stuff, like these guys aren't doing anything crazy. I learned some nice stuff from parterre that I can take away, which is the stuff on the floor. Obviously, you don't really use it in MMA, so that's why that part of the game becomes a little bit difficult. But you know, I learned some really cool stuff that I will definitely take away. as well to use for future wrestling tournaments, things that were still very like extremely valuable. Even the defense to the gut wrench, what I need to do as well. So yeah, like all in all, it's just about refining my technique, becoming more confident, and yeah, knowing that what I'm doing is the right thing. It's very similar to how these top level guys are going to be training, just with more intensity, better technique, and more fluidity. And it, you know, even in stuff like there's just one drill where you're supposed to, one person's supposed to tap the leg, you're supposed to defend and then shoot straight away, you know. And it's like, you know, just being faster mentally to like, okay, where do I need to shoot from here? Where do I need to put my hands from here? Instead of like kind of waiting a second and then shooting, you know, because these are the seconds that you're going to lose in a competition. But yeah, very, very useful trip, and I'm glad that I did it. Of course, you want to go away winning things, but at the same time, I can't be too hard on myself there, because the things that lost me those particular matches were, you know, as we've just mentioned, things that are very easily fixable. Same like my last fight in the UFC. So I just have to take this on the chin, and yeah, like I say, I'm back to training this evening. So you know, as you can see, I'm no stranger to hard work, and I think if anything, it's motivated me to work even harder, especially knowing that my time is ticking. The time is ticking, you know what I mean? And I need to do a lot of things. So I need to build up a massive bit of skill set within a very short space of time. 6-7 years is nothing. Do you know what I mean? And if I can really push to be as motivated and as, you know, make as much sacrifice as possible in order to get to that point, that is what I need to do. And I'm looking, you know, I really am looking forward to it.
Yeah. Speaking of things to look forward to, this Lithuania trip. When was this planned? Have you had this in the works for a while?
I had it in the works for about a couple of weeks. I didn't know obviously what dates the wrestling tournament would be, because I was obviously staying for that wrestling camp afterwards, which ended up I probably could have just went home straight away after the tournament. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was good. I still learned a couple of nice moves and stuff like that. But was it really vital? I mean, we you know, like I said, there wasn't that many like big guys that I could have trained with, but it was good. Look, you know, learned some other decent things, and like I said, it just shows you that the training's not crazy different. So it's good to see that side of it. And yeah, I mean, I've been talking with Sergey for Mazloboyev is his name. You know, for a while. You know, he's very highly tutored in Lithuania and in the world. You know, like I say, being a world glory kickboxing champion, you ain't going to be no pushover, are you? Do you know what I mean? So he's very well known in that world. I think in MMA he's also 11-6, so he's got a good MMA record. So yeah, I mean, he's been talking about a while. Like, if you want to come and train, like, let me know. Like, I've got a place for you to stay. We can get some work in, and it's good because he'll be preparing for his world title fight. I believe he'll be having one next. So, you know, it's something that we've been kind of just talking about like for a while, and now I just thought, you know what? Now that I have the time, I don't have a fight. You know, I've got clients to teach in terms of personal training, but I don't have, you know, anything like specifically that I need to do or need to be here for. So why not use this time? And it's a very easy trip. It's like literally a couple £100 just to fly there and back for me and my dad. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a very easy trip. You know, why not? Why not? If I can learn things from all areas of the world, why not do that?
Yeah. And it must be, as you said right at the start, that you haven't been in it since you were, did you say 19? So
yeah, 18, 19. Yeah.
It's like you get the benefit of it being a trip that you're going to do training. So, you know, it still counts towards when you talk about those sacrifices, but also to cap off the year by going back to Lithuania
To the home
feels like
country.
like re-energized, you know.
100%. I get to, you know, get to try and fix up on my Lithuanian. That's for sure. I mean, even being there for a couple of days, I'm pretty sure I'll start to pick up the language a little bit more. Even though I'll probably sound like a retard to most people that I'll be going out there with. But yeah, like at the end of the day, there'll be things that me and my dad need to do out there, maybe see some relatives. So it's good. Like, overall, it will be a very full, hearty trip with training, seeing things, and Sergey's taking care of me. He's got some sponsors that are helping him, and he's also helping me. So everything works hand in hand, and I'll be improving my skill set, still getting the training, and also enjoying being in another country. I really enjoy being in Finland. I just enjoy being in another country and just experiencing a different environment, and I think that's very good for the mind, good for the body, good for the soul.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it sounds like despite the fact that you are having a super busy couple of weeks, it sounds like everything's going pretty well, man. A good way to end the year off with these two trips. Is there anything coming up after when you get back from Lithuania, or is it a bit more relaxed?
I'm definitely going to go up to Newcastle to see my stepmother's parents, because they're essentially like my grandparents, and like, I really love them, and they've been supporting me a lot, and it's always good to see them. So I'm gonna go out there. It'll be chilled, but like, we'll be doing the training on the beach, like me and my dad always do every single year. And that's when usually it's almost like a time portal where everything starts to go right. When we do our training on the beach, usually big things follow afterwards. And also, I'll be looking to potentially do a wrestling tournament in Sweden, but I'll only go there for the tournament, and then I'll come straight back home. But it'll be like a weekend trip, like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it'll be good because it'll make sure that I have to stay on weight. Do you know what I mean? I'll probably have 1 or 2 days over Christmas where I'll eat whatever the hell I want and stuff my face. But aside from that, I'll need to stay around the weight, like around 97 kilo, which is very low. So I'm going to need to be in shape. I'm going to need to be lean, which means that the dedication and the commitment again has to be to the utmost. And this tournament won't be so big. So yeah, I'm just hoping that, I'm hoping that comes together. I'll see what my dates are looking like, but I believe that's like very early in January. So yeah, again, go to another country and go and take over. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be a good event, and I'm going to definitely take the lessons that I learned in this tournament and bring them over to that one also.
Yeah, exciting times. The only other thing I wanted to mention before we end this episode is that we've spoken about your teammate Simeon Powell multiple times on this episode. He, of course, is fighting in the PFL Europe finals this Friday. Well, it'd be a couple hours after this episode comes out, actually. So people should tune into that, because 100,000 on the line and a bunch of other great fighters on there that yeah, I can't wait to watch compete. So that's exciting
100%.
times.
100%.
And big things for Simeon, I think, if he wins. So.
I mean, he's definitely going to go on to probably to be on the main PFL roster after that. He's got all the skills, he's got all the tools, he's got the superstar, he's got the star potential. He is the face of PFL Europe, I believe, especially for that weight class. Yeah, he's just got to be calm, be composed, do his thing, be smooth, just be himself, just go out there and do his thing. And I'm very, very much looking forward to see a British fighter go out there and win some big money, and take care of himself, take care of his family. It's always good to see other athletes, especially ones that I've been training with, being able to take care of themselves and their families. And I'm sure it'll be a very amazing trip for him in Dublin. Nice place to get the job done. I'm looking forward to going to see him go and perform, because I know he's very excited. And when you've got a lot on the line, you're going to put on your best performance. So I wish him the best of luck. I hope I'm looking forward to see him collect the belt. It definitely looks good around him.
Yeah. There you go. I think that'll just about do it, my man. So thank you for taking this time, because this schedule is getting pretty crazy for you. So
it's hectic, mate. I tell you what, I mean, I'm literally going from one place to the other. I literally just got back this morning at I think 2 a.m. Then I had to three privates from 7 in the morning till about 11, 12. Then I got my haircut, and now got back home. I tried to catch up on some sleep. Then did this, and then now I'm going to wrestling. So yeah, jam packed, but overall vibes, mate. We like to stay busy. We like to do shit, and yeah, mate. On to the next.
All right, love to hear it. Well, I'll catch up with you next week, my man.
Yeah, next week I'll be back at like 11 o'clock. So we could probably do something again around like 4, 5 ish. Yep. No, 4. I reckon 4 p.m. We'll still be able to. No, 5 p.m. we'll still be able to do it around that time.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that works for me. All right, yeah, that
nice
sounds good, man.
Brother. All right,
enjoy Lithuania. I'll catch you next week.
Thank you so much, brother. Take care.
See you later.